Hi, welcome and welcome back. There's a topic that's been going around lately about this idea that we should rebel and create art, that this is the new rebellion. I don't know where this came from. The idea that you are supposed to stop creating in the first place makes no sense. The idea that art is a rebellion is getting something fundamentally wrong with creativity in the first place. When you rebel, you're rebelling against something. So right now it's against AI, against the system, against machines, against whoever or whatever told you that your creative instincts weren't valuable, necessary, or professional enough. But that framing keeps an external force as the main focus of the center. If you have to have a catalyst like a rebellion to create, I'm going to tell you that it's going to be really difficult when that antagonist is no longer there, when you don't have something to rebel against, and yet you still want to create, but you don't know how to build the momentum up. And it also defines you as someone who's in rebellion against something, which has its own type of tone in its creativity. And so unless that is kind of your guerrilla style, always taking note and commentating, but it would be against lots of things, not just one particular thing, or this response to what's going on in the world, which is a very creative thing to do. But the intention behind what we're doing and having art as a rebellion is, to me, kind of nonsense because that is the only thing that you are supposed to do. So I'd ask yourself, if you're on that train, who told you to stop creating in the first place? Because if it was the system or the matrix or whatever you want to blame it on, you have to go back and look at, I chose to do that. You have to go back and look at the choices you made to say, I'm going to agree with that outside source, that outside external factor, and believe that. And it's like somebody woke up and said, you know what? All of this is too much. I'm going to rebel and I'm going to create art. You should create art because you want to create art. And I want to go past just creating art because it is your purpose to create, to build, to design, to make, to produce, to put something out into the world. That is all of us. That is all that we are supposed to do. We're supposed to listen to our intuition, really understand who we are, and build things out into the world that lets us show our creativity, that goes beyond just form and function, that has an aesthetic quality to it, that has a commentary to it, that has a story to it. If we don't create, we don't feel good. And so what's been going on for a long time is that we kind of got pushed into consuming. Oh, right, I need to create something. And now with such a push of things and tools that are actually helping move things along faster, there's an urgency that's spiraling up inside of creatives. And that urgency is if I don't leverage this tool, it feels like it's going to go away, or some machine, some AI thing is going to take it from me and it's going to replace me. Again, can't do that. It's not going to, because the essence of human is the most valuable asset you have. The way that you think, your perspective, your contemplation, your your view, your experiences, that essence that you bring to the table is all what makes you an amazing creative and uniquely yours. That's where the originality comes from. That's where the authenticity comes from. That's where you shine the best. But it is a practice, and a practice is not perfection. A practice is done on repetition. We also have a professional industry that has been grooming their creatives to take that beautiful passion and that beautiful inspiration and dissect it into little pieces through a process, through deadlines, through business requirements, and it gets filtered out. And over time, because that's how we learn to output into mass market products, that little voice, that inner child, that creativity gets smaller and smaller, like that purest form, right? Like you most likely you can pull out some creativity. And if you need to get things done, you can do it. You're a professional. But we're talking about something more innate within us. And I just wanted to take a moment and a pause. And if you've been on this bandwagon about a rebellion or you feel it, the sentiment is not lost on me at all. I absolutely understand that it is a catalyst, but that is all this is. This technology is just a catalyst to show and uncover what's been missing for years. This isn't new, right? We could have said this 5 years ago, looking at social media, right? We're just a new tool with a new name, but that it's hyper focusing on the essence of humans. And I bring this up because if we're only using this rebellion and these knee-jerk reactions to create a rebellion, when that subsides and the trend moves somewhere else, and you're still left sitting with yourself trying to figure out how to create and where to come up with that energy and that momentum, I want you to remember this video, and I want you to go back to some of the past videos or the work to really go back in and anchor into yourself who you are and connect back with that inner child and really look at what it takes to have decades of creativity and a creative career. It is not because artists that we love that have been around for a long time jumped on trend wagons. Maybe they did for a little bit, but they really carved their own lane. They figured out what they wanted to do for them, and they did things that were revolutionary because we hadn't seen it, not because they picked up the trend. They made the trend. And so I want you to think about that as you're out in the world and you're creating and you're doing so many wonderful things. What's the catalyst? Can you make your own catalyst for you? Can you produce that state, that creative state, and that inspiration, or that way to go and get that inspiration without needing to read the news or to read something or to feel like you have to be pushed into it? Because all I'm seeing with people getting on this bandwagon that art is a rebellion is that we're just playing another survival game. This is survival mode. I feel threatened as an artist, so now I need to go produce even more work to show off and say I'm a creative or look what I can do. And there's this clock that feels like it's ticking, trying to get out something before the machines get it, or whatever it is. And I just want to take a moment to go within with you and have that contemplation and really think about, where do I create from? What place am I starting at to create this work from? What's the intention of the work that I have? And there's nothing wrong with having a commentary or reacting to what's going on in the world. We can always leverage what's going on in the world to mold us, influence our work, take us to new places. But it's the skill set of being able to use everything that we see and not just one thing that makes a creative legendary. It's that anything can inspire something to come out of me, not just one particular thing where I feel like I'm threatened by it, because you're not. No one can ever take away your own experiences, your essence, who you are, how you see the world. That just literally cannot be replaced by a robot or a computer or any of AI technology. It is only through you leveraging tools that something can turn into that. And so, however you want to use the tools, AI, no AI, doesn't matter. It's that you really take a step back and look at, what is the purpose of this rebellion? Is this something that really feels important to me? And then what about that do I want to express to the world or other creatives that goes deeper than that? Because this is what we're looking for. Who are you as a creative, no matter what's happening in the world, or in conjunction with everything in the world, not just one thing? And so go back to that inner child. What would your inner child want to do? You have this finite energy per day, and you have to really use it in the right manner. And you want to direct that in the right place. So instead of wrestling and feeling urgency because there's what feels like a low grade threat, that you're creating and taking that energy and you're doing something with it that fulfills you and keeps you moving for decades to come. Because if you understand the sweet spot underneath of why that pushed you in the first place, then you can leverage that. So no matter what you listen to or what you hear or what comes in your way or what happens in your life, it's all just these like little nuggets, these like little golden nuggets. And it's a practice to convert that energy. But you take the hardships and you take the pain and you take the angst and you turn it into beauty. You turn it into something creative over and over again. You glean the wisdom from it. You learn what you need to learn. You gain more knowledge about yourself, and it is imprinted in your work. Your essence is in there, and you use it as fuel to move you, but not as the antagonist in your story. You're the hero of your story. It is your artwork, your perspective, that is what we want to see on display, not how good or bad a tool is. So I just wanted to leave this here as a contemplative thought. So when you're moving in work, or if it is a catalyst for you, leverage it by all means. It's potent energy if it really gets you, but also it's a catalyst to help you and it's wonderful. But just make sure that you're not so emotionally intertwined with it that you can detach. So that at the end of your creative session, whatever happens with this tool technology still doesn't really affect you. You're still going to wake up the next day and you're going to create because you know that is what you need to do. As a reminder, the first step is always going within and really getting into the body first and centering yourself to opening up that creative space, whatever you want to allow to come in. If you're not sure where you're at and your nervous system feels a little off and you feel like you're getting burnt out because of the stress that's going on, I have a quiz down below to help you find out what phase you're in burnout so that you get the specific interventions that you need. And as always, Creative Wisdom is here to help creative professionals build a legacy of work and work that is built from source creation for decades. Links below for upcoming workshops and programs if you want to tap into this and practice this and get more into your own source creation mode so that you can build the best work of your life. Thank you all for being here. I love you so much. Thank you for spending time with me. I look forward to seeing what you put out in the world. And until next time, take care. Bye.